Who's logged in as I don't know who this is. This is so weird.
Oh, is Marcy?
No, she's not.
Oh.
I'm logged in as Marcy.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's on there twice. That's very strange.
Yeah, it says Marcy's connecting to audio. So it doesn't look like Marcy is, but looks like it's trying to connect.
It's so weird.
And Dave and Mike, it looks like they're all trying to connect. Oh.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm on. Hi, Andy.
Hey. Hi, Gene.
Hello.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yep. Hey, Mike, how are you?
It's
All right.
All right. He's connected straight on this time, huh?
Oh, yeah, Andy.
Yeah.
Keep me in
Plane's
check,
going
right?
down. I'm bailing out.
Yeah, I had it, miracles do happen, right?
I hate touching that one. It's like the miracle on the Hudson.
Yeah, right. And Mikey is Sully.
Yeah, right. And I don't have a steady hand. Where is...
Gene, I think you were right. We did not get that information before.
Yes. Okay.
You caught me while I was in Newton, so I didn't have everything at hand.
You don't ride around with the files in your hand?
No.
You don't have it all memorized?
No. This memory bank has a lot of things in it, but at that point, my focus was on my own health. So.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, good stuff.
Couldn't hear.
Okay.
I couldn't hear. Yeah, I couldn't hear because that's what I went for is my hearing because I lost the hearing in my left ear. We fixed it.
That's a good thing.
It's scary when that happens.
Yeah, it is.
Danelle, Rich is not going to be on the call tonight.
Okay.
He sent me a text late. I said it was okay.
Okay.
And Gene, you said you're leaving early?
Well, I'm not sure. I told them if they need me because at the last meeting, Bob Kinase didn't show up the last time that I went to the open space. He was a no call. But I should recuse myself from Vernon's application, but Frankfurt has one. So I just told them if they need me to reach out and I'll sign on for Frankfurt's. So the answer is maybe. Because I don't know if anybody's
I know Bob.
absent.
I know Bob's going to that meeting. He's doing something. He's doing a
Bob was
presentation.
supposed to be well, that's what I'm saying. Bob was supposed to do the Vernon presentation last meeting and he didn't show up.
And he's doing it tonight.
He's doing it tonight.
Right.
But Frankfurt also has an application. So in case they need me for the Frankfurt one, because one of the other members is from Frankfurt. So in case he cannot participate.
Is that meeting at 7:30, Gene?
Yes.
All right. I see Paul joined. I guess we're waiting for Kristen.
And Vernon's on in the beginning, so I wouldn't be whatever.
Clinton. Danelle, is Howie going to be on tonight?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Have you heard from Kristen?
I have not.
Hi, Colette. I see you're on. Still no microphone for her, huh?
It's not. We did have IT look at it. They said that it's not the headset. It's for some reason it's how Zoom is interacting with her actual PC, but she's getting a new PC
shortly.
Probably, yeah, shortly.
All right. Kristen, I'm assuming she's going to come on.
I'll send you a text.
You haven't heard from Kristen, have you, Danelle?
No, I have not.
I'm texting her now.
No.
She would never miss without calling.
She may be having connection issues like I did.
For sure. I got on the first shot tonight and I was amazed.
So were we all, Dave.
Oh man, it's a tough crowd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Carney.
I'm sorry.
I'm wounded.
I'm sorry, Paul. That's
I'm
a cheap
wounded by
shot
my
to Buck.
buddy.
I'm sorry, Paul. That's a cheap shot. You put $1 in the box.
Yeah, right.
I'll be broke real fast.
We're so proud of. Yeah, we're so proud of Dave. You know.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm doing better.
You're like Rodney
Right.
Dangerfield. You get no respect.
Yeah,
Right,
No
exactly.
respect.
Oh, God. And I'm going back to Wisconsin University.
Ask your wife. You get no respect from her either, right?
No, that's for damn sure.
I'm sorry. I've been there. I witnessed that.
yeah, for sure. Oh, God. Well, we know who the boss is over here, that's for sure.
Okay. Kristen says she'll be on in a few minutes. He's trying to connect.
All right.
Man, winter came back with a vengeance these last 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up my son. I picked up my son from the airport. He flew in from Fort Lauderdale, and I was at Newark Airport, and he came out the door and he ran to the car. He's like, this is sick. It was 85 degrees. I just lied. Yeah, well, it's 25 here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's not used to. He's not okay with it.
With me, it goes the other way. I'd leave here, it'd be -10, and I'd get down to Florida, it'd be 75 or 80 degrees, and I'd be dying. I suffer.
Yeah,
the heat.
right, exactly.
Ugh.
Right here.
I can't talk, guys. I just went and bought a new pair of cross-country skis, so
Oh, boy. There you go.
good sport.
Yeah, for sure. They say it's a hell of a workout. I've never done it.
It's a good workout.
Well, it'll probably be something I'll end up having to do. After I go in to New York for on the 30th for my hip to be replaced, and that's the end of any kind of high impact sports. So that's no more skating or hockey or any of that. But who knows? Maybe I'll end up cross country skiing.
Well, it's a sport I picked up while working overseas, and it was a great way to spend my evenings after work is doing that instead of sitting at the bar with my colleagues.
Well, okay.
No.
I might take the bar and the colleagues.
Yeah, but you can only do that for a couple of nights. You can't do that every bloody night.
No, that's true.
And that's exactly what they were doing. 5 nights a week, you were sitting at the bar. I go, nope, I'm going over to the cross country location.
Sure.
See ya.
Well, if they don't shovel Maple Grange path, maybe you could just go do it there.
That's true, but I have Owens Station. I have Camp Sussex. I've got parts of Wood Duck, and there's a lot of different trails. And actually, you can do Lafayette as well. I did Lafayette last year.
Okay.
How about the golf courses?
You can do golf courses, but
If they let you.
I don't, yeah, they don't have a problem with that, but to be honest with you, I like the ones like Owen Station is a pretty course, and going down through Wood Duck is very nice. And it's quiet. That's why I like it. And you can glide a long way and get a good workout.
All right.
You want to get started without Kristen and just, what do you want to do? You want to give her a few minutes?
Let's give till 7:10 and then we'll start. 4 more minutes.
Oh. No, that's Howie.
That's Howie. Hey, Howie's online.
Hello, Howie. You probably have to unmute Howie.
Yes, I am
I
muted.
did.
He's not unmuted now. There he is.
Yeah, I just
Hello,
promoted.
Howie. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're just waiting for Kristen, and then we're going to get started.
I'm just going to tell her we're going to get started. Okay. I've informed her, so let's move on, Mr.
All right,
Chair.
let's get started. Okay, call to order for the meeting of November 19th, 2020. The Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority. Danelle, can you read the statement of compliance? Because I don't have a copy of it.
I don't have one. Hold on, let me grab it.
Uh-oh, really?
Sorry. No, well, I
I'm
didn't have
having it.
Just give her a sec. Just give her a second. She'll have it in a moment, right? Danelle?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Okay.
You did it again, Mike. Two discredits.
I don't know what happened on my computer. I lost a whole folder on my computer. I don't know what I did.
I'm sorry. No excuses tonight.
Oh,
Okay. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 213, adequate notice is defined in Section D of this regular meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 20th, 2020 by delivering to the press such notice and posting same at the municipal building and file with the office of the MUA, as well as posted on the website.
salute to the flag.
Pledge
I
allegiance
pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
of the United
Of the
States of
United
of the
America
United
America.
States of America,
and to the
And to the
republic
to the republic
for which
for
it
which-
stands,
which stands
one
One
nation,
nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with liberty
with liberty
and
and justice
and
for all.
justice
for all.
for all.
Play ball.
Yeah, batter up.
All right,
Just don't sing.
all right. Roll call of members. Danelle, you want to do that for me, please?
Sure. Andrew Pitzker,
Present.
Dave McDermott,
Present.
Mike Fury,
Here.
Paul Carney,
Here,
Kristen Wheaton is absent, Jean Murphy.
Here,
That's it.
Okay. Rich Wenner is not going to be with us tonight. And we also have Howie Lazier, who's our licensed operator record. He's on tonight. So we'll make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion to open a meeting to the public.
Second it.
Motion made by Andy Pitzker, seconded by Dave McDermott. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstained? Danelle, is there anybody from the public on?
There is not, and I did not receive any emails or phone calls either with any statements to be read into the record. So as far as I know, we're good to go.
Make a motion to close to the public.
Make the motion.
Second it.
Motion by Paul Carney, seconded by Dave McDermott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain?
Abstain.
Okay. Oh, I hear,
This is Chris.
we'll note that, it's okay, Chris. Let's note that, like the record show that Chris Wheaton joined the meeting. She's on board. Good evening, Kristen.
Good evening. Sorry for the delay.
That's all right, not a problem. All right, the next on the agenda is the approval of the bills, resolution 20-49. Vernon Township Municipal Authority has in due course of operations, accrued liabilities are due for payment. Does anybody have a chance or have any questions about the bills list?
None by me.
Yeah, I
No.
didn't see anything this month to question, so pretty good.
I do have one.
So I'll enter.
I actually do.
All right,
have
go
one
ahead, Andy.
question. Danelle, just refresh my memory on this one. We have cell phones. We have 7 cell phones now.
No, we only have 3 cell phones.
Celco Partners, it says 7 cell phones. Is that the coding or is that the way it works?
I think that's the coding. Where's the, can I get the PO number?
What are you looking for?
It's one that we already paid. It's a prepaid.
That's a prepaid.
No, that's okay. That I had to look at the actual bills list. That 7 is not 7 cell phones. It's a line. It's the 7th line on the purchase order. We do blankets for those so that we encumber the funds prior to us actually getting the bill. So that's the 7th drawdown from that blanket.
Okay. That's
Oh,
what-
that makes sense.
I didn't think we had 7 cell phones.
No, it's just the accounting system line number 7.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Do I entertain a motion to pass resolution 20-49, approval of the bills?
Motion to pass the approval of the bills, 2029.
Second,
I'll second. Yeah, second.
Motion by Andy Pittsger, seconded by Paul Carney. Do we need a roll call for that?
No, you can do all in favor, opposed.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain?
I abstain.
Chris abstains.
Actually,
Duly noted.
2049.
That's 49, right? Not 29?
I
Yeah,
said
it's 20
29. I
it's
should
20 dash-
see it. 20-49. I said
20.
29.
Right.
Correction.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go through. We're gonna go. All right, hold on. I'm sorry. We're gonna go through resolution one by one. We'll start with resolution 20-50, approval of EDU allocation for property located at 2 Snowbird Unit, block Unit 5, block 529, lot 44. Anybody have any questions about resolution -20-50?
I don't have
Really?
I don't have a question about the resolution itself. I just have a general question. I mean, it said that it was assessed incorrectly because they weren't allowed access to the unit, or they couldn't gain access to the unit originally. And now we have, and it proves out to be 1 bedroom. But from whenever this was built, I mean, wouldn't there be records of what these units were, and how does that type of error occur in the first place? I mean, none of us were involved in that. I'm just curious how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, as far as properties being assessed and stuff, the last time we did a reval was over 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. So it could have been, at that point, nobody was, I have no idea at the last time when it was a 2-bedroom, or it could have been that somebody assumed it was a 2-bedroom. Maybe the former owners didn't say anything about it. I honestly have no idea because, I look at mine to see what it's assessed at. I don't know,
I just looked that up actually, and it shows that it was a 1-bedroom. Now, just to answer your question, Paul, sometimes there's small units that are loft units, and there might be a little bedroom downstairs, and they're only using it as a 1-bedroom because really a loft is not a bedroom. It's not enclosed. Some of them, it's not like it's private. So they could be, but some people will put a bed up there. So if the assessor's going up there, they're going to look at it and say, well, you put a bed in there, it's a bedroom.
So
But-
so it's an arbitrary thing, basically. So if someone has 3 bedrooms and they don't use them as bedrooms, this one's an office and this one's now a gym, in theory, then they could say, well, I only want to pay for 1 bedroom. So, and if someone does a modification to a unit, and then it sells it, and then 2 years later, someone's living there, now it's like back to 3 bedrooms, they're not paying the correct amount.
Well, yeah, it's not necessary that they're doing a modification because it's with it being in the condos. I mean, if it's a rec room unit and they're putting a wall up and making a bedroom in a dungeon, that's a whole nother story. But
Right.
chances are they looked, there's 1 bedroom. There could be a loft because that actually happened several years ago. And it was one of the residents that, and I mean several, and I just gave her a copy of the listing from when she bought it because she bought it as a 1 bedroom. So, and there is actually a list, if I knew where I had it, but there was actually a list that they originally put out years ago of the, how many bedrooms there were. So that's probably what happened is when they went back into the unit, they looked and said, it's 1 bedroom.
Now, I get that with the loft, and that makes a lot of sense. But so I just want to clarify: if someone has a 3-bedroom unit or a home, I guess if they're on the system, it's based on that as well. If they decide to say, "Hey, we're not using these 2 bedrooms as bedrooms," they still have to pay as if they are, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think our tax assessor would say, yeah, that's okay. You're not using them as bedrooms, so they're not bedrooms.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
well, there is a concern that might happen. I understand where Paul's coming from.
Yeah.
Just because you live alone and you have 3 bedrooms doesn't mean you
Yeah,
pay for 1.
right, exactly.
I have one question before we move on. Is there any kind of specification or regulation about how often we're supposed to reevaluate? Like, how the taxes, they come through and every 10 years they do it. Is there anything that either restricts
In our bylaws?
Yeah, I couldn't find it when I was looking.
That's
I
an
mean,
interesting question. Like, how often does the MUA have to evaluate the EDUs? Like I don't know if that was ever done in the bylaws.
Right, I couldn't see it. I mean, when I was going through,
Well,
Andy and myself went through the bylaws, and I couldn't find anything.
I can reach out to Rich
you
if he knows.
yeah, I was going to say that. Ask Rich if there's some kind of precedent or any kind of legal, because that's something that the bylaws committee should look at and probably like we should define that. And I'd like to know what the state statute is,
Yeah.
and then and then we can get an idea from state statute what other MUAs do and what he's experienced, and then we can bring that to the bylaws committee, because we'll eventually have to look at the bylaws.
Doesn't that sound,
I will say that the township is now doing annual reassessments, so it should address any issues that might come up.
Hopefully,
Right.
that'd be a good thing. Save us a lot of aggravation.
doesn't that seem kind of burdensome though, to have a requirement that we evaluate the EDUs of every customer so often? I mean, wouldn't the burden be on the user, right? When they know they have a change of use.
Well, yeah, and I also think
Yeah.
that a change of use oftentimes might be an extension or another room added to a house or a building, and that has to go through the building
suppose.
department, and it
Yeah.
should be some kind of, dovetailing together of that information.
Yeah, that makes sense, for sure.
That makes sense. I agree.
And it's-
Do I entertain a motion to pass resolution 20-50?
I'll make the
to pass.
motion.
Okay.
Motion by Paul Carney, seconded by Andy Pitsker. Danelle, you want to take a roll call?
Sure. Andrew Pitsker,
Yes.
Mike Fury,
Yes.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Dave McDermott.
Yes.
All right, moving on to resolution 20-51, approving the application for sewer allocation for the property located at 15 Church Street, block 402, lot 5. I saw the map. I'm sorry. What is that building? Which building is that referring
Next to the municipal building.
Yeah.
Next door.
So,
It's right next door. He's renovating it. So it's actually, it's not really a change. It's strange. It's not a change in the number of EDUs. It's the exact same. But I put it on because it did require Serin's review, and I just want to make sure that everyone is still okay with it staying the same.
Oh, okay.
so it's a renovation, but it obviously amounts to the same EDUs.
Yeah,
She gave a recommendation. Yeah, I read the recommendation. Does anybody have any questions about that?
No.
No.
Entertain a motion to pass resolution 20-51.
Make a
make
motion to pass. Good.
Or I'll second it. Dave makes it, I'll second it.
Motion by Dave McDermott, seconded by Kristen Wheaton. Roll call, Danelle?
Sure, Andrew Pitzker,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Mike Fury,
Yes.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I'm going back up. Resolution 20-52, resolution approving a work order for force main evaluation. I guess before we get into that, Danelle, can you explain what we did here?
Yeah, so essentially, with the force main evaluation, because it's taking a very long time and we've had issues with the last specs that we sent out to a lot of vendors, we're going to be splitting up the specs, but I think that it would be in the best interest of the MUA to have Dewberry work on the evaluation. I think Mott McDonald has taken way too long, and it's not getting done, and it's very confusing for the vendors. I had vendors call me and tell me, like, the way the specs are written, it's going to be too expensive. The specs weren't clear, so before we go out and ask again, I would rather have another engineer look at it and make it a little clearer. After meeting with Steve from Dewberry last Friday, and this was part of my report, but there were a couple things he had said, like, oh, we don't necessarily need to do it this way, we could do it that way, and it might be able to save some money. I just think that it's my recommendation that we go with Dewberry to work on this as another special project.
Right, and then in their package, there was the proposal from Dewberry explaining exactly what they're going to do with the project understanding, scope of work. They're going to do a condition assessment. I kind of agree with Danelle that we need to move on and get them to take this over. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think they have a good handle on what they got to do. Did everybody have a chance to kind of review that document? It's along the same lines as the original proposal that was done by Mott McDonald. I know that they have experience evaluating force mains, so they understand it. I know they're perfectly capable of doing this, pushing this forward. So I know they know what they need to do. We just got to get it done.
The only question.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
The only question I have is that at the last meeting when it was discussed, I just asked, did you have information from Mott McDonald of what they submitted? And you said that you would forward that. And I haven't seen anything because.
What they forward so far for the actual asset management plan.
This had to do with what Mike said he had. Information that Mike said he had. Right.
I think we were talking about, oh yeah, no, I apologize. Well, no, we were actually talking about the submission to the funding, the iBank, and what was submitted,
Right.
what was not submitted.
Right.
I
but it-
thought I forwarded that. That's the submission. Yeah, I did. I thought I sent that around. And what the discussions, the emails back and forth between the DEP and Mott McDonald, where they were asking if this evaluation would be covered under the asset management plan funding, I'm pretty certain that this, the documents or any kind of plans or proposals or RFPs were not submitted. So not submitted down to the funding. I thought I sent that around. If I didn't, I apologize.
Well-
But Danelle, if you could do me a favor and send around, their original proposal and their plan, because I apologize if I didn't send that out.
Yeah, I'll forward it to everyone right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So,
notes.
I mean, the proposal that Dewberry has lined up is very similar to what Mott McDonald was doing. But like what Danelle said is, I think the proposal was so complicated and convoluted that it was hard for the contractors to give an accurate price. And I think the pricing, the amount of money they were looking to was going to cost was in excess of $50,000, and I don't think this job is $50,000. So I think
had nothing to do with Dewberry. It was just the fact that from what was presented, and like I said, I'm not sure if we discussed that in executive or not. I forget. Like I said, so I don't want to say too much, but it was just a matter of, like I said, not having anything to do with Dewberry and whether or not to give them the job, but it was what you were saying did or did not happen. And all I asked for was just, documentation for it, because it just brought up other questions. That's all.
Right. No, I agree.
My notes have it that there was supposed to be application made. DEP said no record of any application or approval has been made, and there was supposed to be something done. I remember that. That I remember, but my notes say that no application has been made.
Yeah.
Right. And if they said if they did say they applied, then I just said, what did they apply for? That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other questions about this proposal? Do we entertain a motion to approve this resolution?
Joe, I'll move to approve the resolution. We're talking 20-52.
I second that.
So motion made by Dave McDermott, second by Andy Pitzker. Do we have a roll call,
Yes.
Danelle?
Yep. Mike Fury,
Yes.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Andrew Pitzker,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton. Kristen Wheaton.
Kristen?
Yes, sorry, I was unmuted.
Okay. All right. So resolution 20-53, a resolution appointing special counsel. Does everybody have an opportunity to review resolution 20-53? This is related to special counsel in order to address the issues with Sussex County MUA.
I'm good with it.
So am I.
Motion to approve.
Motion
I'll
is
second.
approved by Andy Pitzker, seconded by Dave McDermott.
Mike Fury.
Yes.
You want to ask for the roll call? I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead. You're way ahead of me.
Mike Fury,
Yes.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Andrew Pitzker,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton.
Yes.
before we move on, obviously I reached out to them and they didn't get back to me. If you could pursue with them, Danelle, whatever you need.
Yeah, I did reach out and I didn't hear back either, so I'm just gonna start making phone calls. So just
Okay, I appreciate it.
like this is contingent. If you look at the first, be it further resolved, it's contingent upon receiving those items. It's
Got it.
This is null and void if they don't give any of that information over. So
Obviously. All right, thanks, Danelle.
Mhm.
All right, administrative update, number A. I just want to let everybody know I've asked Howie to come on to the meetings to give a licensed operator update. I'm going to turn it over to Howie. Howie, can you just tell us what's going on with the system? You can provide an update.
Yes.
There you go.
There you are.
The system's running, it's flowing south, so that's a good thing. We took the site with Dewberry. A couple of things came up on the safety issues, which he addressed and he agreed with. That's with Black Creek having railings. But then the question came up, Jimmy asked about if anything could help us with the weir at Pump Station 3. He was a little weary on that, but anything is a good thing if he can help us with any of them. And then the new hires, I think that by the end of the month, they should be good to go by themselves.
Yeah, are they still getting training, Howie?
Yeah, they are.
And you think by end of November they can be completely on their own?
Yes.
Great.
Can you give me an update on the Muffin Monster at Pump Station 3?
The Muffin Monster stopped working. We had Jim come in and check it out. He did fix it, but now the grinder actually is jammed. So they were waiting for Jim to come in tomorrow. They're going to unhook it and see if they can take the spindles and reverse it.
Yeah, you had electrical issues.
Yes.
Danelle, the requisite or the requisition I saw from it's the company's EM, right?
Yeah.
No.
Was that related to the Muffin Monster? That those two, there was like two. It was you were looking to get something approved.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I just did a couple of them today. We had one for EM, but I think that that was for work at Pump Station 1 and Pump Station 2.
That was not for Pump Station 3.
No, I think that was with.
So they made those repairs right at Pump Station 3, right, Howie? The Muffin Monster.
Yes, he did fix it.
So now it's more of a mechanical issue.
Yes.
Who's going to make that repair? Is it EM or who you gonna, or is one of your guys?
No, Jim.
And electric.
Oh, they know how to do that?
Well, yes. Jim spoke to him already. When he comes in to do the panel for La Tiquette, the part that came in is coming in tomorrow. He's coming in to fix it. And he's going to have PS3 and just check that as well.
Does that have any impact on, the lack of a Muffin Monster? Did that have a negative impact on the pumps at Pump Station 3 where they were able to keep up with the flow?
Well, yeah, it'll keep up with the flow. The pumps will.
Yeah, but they didn't get clogged or there's no issues.
No, not yet. Anyway.
How long's this Muffin Monster? How long's the Muffin Monster been down?
Just a day.
Just today. Okay.
Well, this will be the second day that it's been down.
All right.
How old is that
let me.
monster?
Yeah. Did you hear that, Howie?
Yeah, I did hear that. I don't think it's too old because we did replace that one, I believe, when I first took over. Probably about 10 years ago, 7 years ago.
Do we have a backup for a Muffin Monster?
No.
do you think we need parts for a Muffin Monster, or do you like, you know, what are your suggestions on that? Because Andy brings up a good point. Or do you think backup parts is a good thing to keep them in stock?
Well, I know the actual teeth, you can replace them. Actually, you could spin it around and then reverse them. But
But is it a good idea to have backup parts? And then not only for the Muffin Monster, for any part of the system, backup pump and.
I
you know.
don't know what backup parts you would have for a Muffin Monster, because it's a fairly, I mean, they're not a cheap piece of equipment, but they're fairly basic piece of equipment. They just turn on and grind whatever
Right.
goes through them. So, I mean, it's either going to be a motor or gears or the teeth are worn down.
Yeah, but the
So-
thing is, if you're going to reverse the teeth, okay, they're half grown already. If you're going to if you have a backup set of grinders, and you can, instead of reversing the spindle, because you're running through there with all these baby wipes and everything, they wear the living daylights out of them. They're abrasive as hell. Why don't we just have a brand new backup pair of spindles with the grinders already ready for a swap out?
Well, yeah, but I think with the Muffin Monsters in general, I think it's standard practice to when the teeth wear down one way, you take the whole thing and you reverse it.
Agreed,
And then it's like a whole new set of teeth until they wear down. So I think the way to look at it is when you do reverse the teeth. I mean, if these teeth, I don't know how long the grinder part of this has been in place, the teeth and all. So let's just say it's a 10-year-old unit. And if this is the first time we're reversing it, we got 10 years out of them. If you reverse them, there goes potentially another 10 years. I mean, you know, in a perfect world. So, you know, a couple of years after making reversing the teeth, maybe then you could look to buy it back up and have them in place then, because I don't see the teeth wearing down, you know, any faster than they had in the past.
Is that true, Howie? Is that the first time you had to do this? Or
Yeah.
what do you know of?
that I know of, yeah.
Are there any relays or safety fuse, anything like that can burn out or transfer switches, whatever happened, you know, whatever they are, that we should have in stock so that you guys could change them out if needed, of course.
Well, we do a little bit of swapping them out, but we never swapped anything out on the big pump stations. We
Okay.
swapped electrical out on the lift stations.
Okay. If there's a need for spare parts that'll get the motor, the problem up and running, maybe we should look into having them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Now,
you could do us a favor. Hold on a second, Paul. Just you do us a favor. If you think of any backup parts you need, we want to be more proactive and be ready for issues. And you have to be that way in the wastewater water business. Go ahead, Paul. What were you gonna say?
I agree with you 100% on that. Now, throughout the system, because there's different stations and pump houses, how many different Muffin Monsters or grinder pumps do we have? Because I know at my job, and it's not sewage, but it's industrial, and it's the same. We still have to have the Muffin Monsters and grinder pumps in line. Over time, we've kind of sized them as best we can. In some places, obviously, you can't because of volume. But if the volumes are relatively close, as time goes on, if they could all be kind of brought into the same size range, what we do now is we have an extra one. So when one of them goes down, we pop it out, put the other one in, and then work on it on the side. So there's really no extended downtime with these units, because obviously, you know, if you don't have them in line doing what they're supposed to do, that could cause some real issues. So they're a vital piece of equipment. But it's just, if we have, you know, 4 different Muffin Monsters, and you know, I'm just throwing numbers out there, and then we have to have 4 different backup motors, 4 different, you know, sets of this, 4 different sets of that. You're talking a very expensive and extensive inventory that, you know, we're not flush with cash to to have a lot of that. So, and I know there's some things we will need, but I also think that we have to, going forward, try to get parts and pumps that are interchangeable throughout our system and sized the same way whenever we can, so that we can make quick changes and not have to, have things down for extended periods of time or have a large inventory of expensive parts.
Makes sense. Anything else? Oh, going back over to the safety or issues. What outstanding safety issues are there, Howie? Like that have not been addressed?
Just the Black Creek's safety railing.
So that's the only one?
And then we need a lid for Lofted Cat.
A lift?
A lid.
A lid.
Oh, a lid. Oh, I know about that. How about the portable generator? Is there a need for that, Howie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It would be
probably.
portable, right?
Well, yeah, probably a need for 4 of them. That would be reasonable.
What, permanent ones or portable?
Portable ones for the lift stations and the condos.
The only thing is, when we talked about that, Howie,
Right.
is that when we went out on our field expedition last week, is that if we're going to put generators in those areas, they need to be probably somehow bolted down in the ground in a Joe box, because that's probably why they walk away. Somebody in the condos can just grab one and just take it away.
Well, not if they're portable. You're talking about portable ones, right? How you put it on the back of a trailer with a trailer hitch and.
Well, no.
Oh, so you want permanent ones
Well, that would be
in
ideal.
place?
Right, because the one portable one that we have now, like I was explaining to Andy, when we had that storm, we were wheeling that thing down 500-600 pounds, going down through these stairs, and taking them out and get the pumps running, and then moving it to the next one, and getting that pump
Yeah.
going when everything was down.
No, that's no good. That's not good.
It's a long haul to go from the road to where they need that pump, but you can't.
Yeah, that's not
Can't
good.
leave that generator there, so you have to build a box for it that you can
Right, a lockbox.
lock it. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way you're going to be able to put something there and keep it.
No, I agree. Hey, Howie, would that have to be evaluated by an engineer and sized up, or is that something you're comfortable doing?
No, we actually talked to Tim from the generators. He's gonna check everything and size it up for us, even with the one that we have already.
Okay.
He's coming next week, and he's gonna check
All
the
right,
generator
good.
we have to make sure that that has the right
Good.
amp and everything else for it.
Good. Yeah, let's follow up on that. Make sure that gets done. I agree. Anything else, Howie?
No, that's all I got down.
Good. I appreciate working with these. I met the 2 new guys, by the way. I was really impressed by them. They seem like they're enthusiastic. So it's good that they're, by the end of the month, we can, get them on their own. And obviously, if issues come up, because anything can happen, that, Howie, they can lean on you or whoever, and you have somebody for backup. I appreciate the help on that.
Yes, like I said, they're good.
All right.
They're hands-on with
Good.
anything, no issues.
Well, the other thing too, I talked to them about, maybe possibly looking to take the class if they're interested. That's something you might want to encourage them to do.
Yes, spoke to them already about that the first day on.
Yeah. So if they, obviously, what you got to do, you can do it online. You don't necessarily have to do it in person. It's really, actually, you're not going to be able to even do it in person with anywhere. So you're going to have to go through the correspondence class. I think, if they need any information, I can guide them in the right direction, or you can help them. But, if they're interested, get them on board and have them start the class. It's a long process, right, Harvey?
Yes, it is. I still have all my notes. So I think I gave it to them already.
Good.
Hey, Howie,
Greg
question.
White's out of the business, by the way. He's not in the business anymore. He retired. So you can't call Greg White anymore. So he's not teaching the class.
Howie, quick
All right.
question for you regarding
Go ahead.
regarding Jim and James. How's that transition going to work with them?
They don't seem to have a problem.
Okay, because basically we will stop utilizing the DPW services in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Any issues with the DPW on this that we need to
No.
be aware of?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure we're clear and clean. Good.
No, that's good, Howie. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for that update. Any other questions for Howie from the board members?
Are we supporting you correctly, Howie?
Yes, thank you. You
Okay.
are.
Okay, good. Well, no, I mean, last week we went out on that tour and you and your team were very, very helpful. I learned a lot and I know Danelle did as well, so.
Well,
Oh yeah, Danelle. There you go. She learned quick, right?
Yeah, I got soaking wet. She couldn't stand the smell after a while, but that's another story.
I did.
You get used to it, right, Howie?
Pump station too.
All right. Thanks a lot, Howie. On the site visits, I don't know who wants to take the lead on that. I did not go, but last week they had a visit. Dewberry went out and did a site visit. I don't know if Andy, you want to talk about it, or you want to
Let
review what happened?
Yeah, let Danelle take the lead on this one.
Sure.
Go ahead, Danelle.
Yeah, so Steve came out from Dewberry in the rain. He braved the rain, he and Andy. We visited all the lift stations, all the pump stations, and he really got a good look at everything. He was taking pictures and stuff, so that's really good. He did have some good news about the line going to pump station 1, because there were some concerns. I know we talked about that a couple of times about the erosion in that area, but he's not super concerned about it, so that's good. He obviously, like Howie already said, he recommended the railings and the new lid for La Tiquette, which is good, and the railings at Black Creek lift station is what I was talking about. So we'll be moving forward with that. I do have a fabricator that I'm going to reach out to regarding the railing, so I'll be doing that probably tomorrow, actually. With pump station 2 and the transfer station, Steve is actually told me he's going to have the work order submitted to us next week so that we can put it on the next agenda, hopefully get an approval for that, and they can start working on that. I don't know, Andy, if you had anything else to add to the actual site visit. I mean, I think it was a very thorough site visit, and that's what we needed.
Two things that I'll bring up is that the line coming from down to pump station 1 has always been thought of by most of us as a forced main. It is a gravity fed main and it's about 12 feet down. And I know many people thought, oh, we're going to have an exposed pipe. That ditch that runs across there, basically Steve did say, once we put a culvert pipe there, we can cover it, but we're all comfortable with it. I know Howie was like smiling, like this is not a forced main. And we were all led to believe that it was. So that took a lot of relief off of us of where that pipe comes down through the power lines to pump house 1. It is simple, it's easy, and it's pretty quick to resolve. And Steve will have a solution for us to get that drain pipe put in there, hopefully when we get that on the list. Secondly we've had discussions with Sarin regarding these air valves. And we looked at these air valves, right, Howie? And the air valves have been some discussions because of the force main and when we go doing the test. And when Steve and I looked down in the pit with Howie and the team, it's just like, what the hell's wrong with these? Excuse my French. These are standard air bleed valves. And if there's anything that has to be replaced, it's typically the top end of it. And Steve looked at it and said, there's nothing wrong with them. They're clean. They're a little rusty, but didn't see any issues with it. Did you see anything, Howie?
No, like you said too, he asked about the pumps and if there's anything backing up with the pumps, and the pumps have been running average. So I don't think that the air release or anything is wrong with them.
No. So that was also a secondary relief on that area. So, and then
Andy, hold on a second. I have a question. So how many air relief valves are we talking about that actually need maintenance?
3.
Three.
3?
I understood 3. Howie? 3?
Yes.
Okay. I was pulling my hand up because I think it was 3, but I wanted to make sure. And also we had an issue with a controller at one of the lift stations, right, Howie, that we talked about?
Yeah.
And I know they got that controller coming in, but it's one of those things that take did that finally show up?
Yes. That's what he's coming to do that tomorrow.
Okay, good. And did we consider ordering another one?
We did not, but we could tell him that we should.
If it's not a high priced item, that would be probably a good idea to have that one. Because that's a rare one to find, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess he had to order from California.
Yeah, and it took a long while to get here. So that might be a good backup there. But other than that, I mean, Steve's visit, he's got to get up to speed. We need to make sure that Mount McDonald hands him over the right materials, but pretty much it's a straightforward path. And then this week I had an opportunity to start looking at CCTV inspection equipment. And Danelle, I don't know how simple, how hard this is, but there are people out there that can do closed caption TVs of these lines right down to rotor rooter. So I'm wondering whether or not we can find somebody in particular, or do we have to use somebody differently? How you could tell me also.
I mean, I was going to say that, so the whole part of the force main, that portion of the force main evaluation, we are breaking it out into 3 separate projects. So the CCTV footage, I will probably be able to go out to more vendors for that. I did send Steve an email today because we were talking a little bit about like that process, because I had sent him in prior, like a list of how I wanted to break it up. And he was explaining that for the CCTV footage, you might need the vendor. Like if we don't have our vendor that's there to replace the ARVs or do maintenance on the ARVs at the same time, then you might have to have that vendor actually like do the disassemble an ARV and do the CCTV footage. So I just need a little bit more clarification from him whether or not I need to actually quote out, because I don't think I'm going to be including a quote for them taking it apart. I think that was the whole issue before, is that they didn't want to do all, or they couldn't do all of the work involved. They could only do a portion of it. So I do have one guy that one of the vendors works with all the time that does the CCTV footage. I did reach out to him and he gave a quote for the first time and said he could only do the CCTV footage. So we'll send it out again and hopefully we'll have more vendors to choose from.
Also, the other one I stumbled into actually is Wind River has a solution as well. I don't know whether or not we could utilize them as well.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think they have that service.
I know they do. They did my neighbors.
So
they definitely have that service.
I mean, they can do a basic CCTV inspection, but are you going to get the data that you need for the asset management plan is the key thing, right? So you want them to be following some standard procedures. I don't recall. I was just looking for Mont McDonald's because I remember I gave you comments, I don't know, last year or something, Danelle, on their procurement. Maybe it was this spring. I don't know. Their procurement documents that have caused us such issues. And I know we were trying to. Yeah, there were issues from the start, but there might be something in there like that they have to follow, NASCO criteria for rating and ranking defects, and the like. And you want to have a certain level of accuracy. You want to know where the defects are that you find with the CCTV. So Roto-Rooter might just say, oh, there's a root in here and it's about 20. Okay, I got to go get my cutter. I got to go get my cutter rig now and get it out. So it's a little different,
No, I agree, but that's just like, I don't know what the extent of it is, but there are a variety of people, but including Wind River, who I would think would have some municipality experience. So I just was led to believe from Sarin that, oh, this is such a difficult thing and we're sitting here struggling with it. It's like, come on, we can get this done.
Well, I'm pretty confident Dewberry has vendors they can work with and they can
Yeah.
recommend, because they've done force main evaluations. I mean, I know they did it in Sussex. James did one with his previous company. I know he's experienced in doing it, and I know they did one in Parsippany. So I'm sure they have vendors that can help out. That I would lean heavily on Dewberry to provide that assistance. So, or find the vendors.
Okay. But
Got it.
thank you, Howie, and to your team for taking us out last week. It was a good trip.
Yeah, that was well worth it.
I'm sorry I missed it.
All right. Anything else on the site visit? Anything else you want to bring up? The pump station 2 transfer station update. Danelle asked for a meeting on, I don't know, when was that, Monday? We got Mountain Creek online. We got Dewberry in the meeting, the mayor, Joe Hessian, and what was the other person's name, Danelle?
It was
Scott. Scott.
Yeah, Joe's partner. Business.
Yeah, Joe's partner. So the purpose of the meeting, why don't you go over what that meeting was about?
Yeah, so I had previously sent out with the board's permission, obviously, a proposal to Dave Bauer from Wind River about a price per gallon. I wanted to make sure that he accepted that before we really move forward with the idea of a transfer station being done at Pump Station 2. So that being said, once he accepted that, I had spoken with him and he was like having some miscommunication with Mountain Creek. So I wanted to meet with Mountain Creek first to make sure that they were still on board with doing it. And they were. Again, I think everyone is just bogged down with a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. So they haven't been able to touch base yet. Now that Dewberry's on, I wanted Dewberry to meet with Mountain Creek and, make sure that they're in correspondence with them so that everything is moving forward nicely. That being said, the next step is we're going to have a meeting with Dave Bauer and Mountain Creek, and before that, Mountain Creek will be reaching out to Dave Bauer to settle on whether or not the pump station will be at the existing location, or if they are going to move it, and if they are going to move it, where they're going to want to move it to. I know there's been talk about it moving across the street. They're not sure if that's necessary, but they need to know the size of the trucks that are coming in and, what's going to be involved with that. So I do have Joe and Scott both said that they would be ensuring that they meet with Dave beforehand so that at our next meeting, we can really dive in and get going.
What was Scott's last name?
So
Baldessano.
So
one of the I'm sorry, hold on a second, but one of the possible sites was what I assume next to the existing pump station in that parking lot. Is that am I correct about that, Danelle?
There was talk about moving it across the street to another parking lot.
No, I know about that possible site, but the other site that they mentioned in the meeting was possibly in the that there was like a parking lot right next to the present pump station, and
Yes.
to possibly place it in that area.
Yes,
Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Yeah, and they got to do a site visit and then decide where the location is going to be. Go ahead, Chris. You had a question?
I'm just wondering, am I on this subcommittee?
The pump station. Hold on a second. You are, yes, you and I are on the pump station 2 subcommittee.
I apologize, Christian. I did not include you on the email invitation. That was
Thank you. I wouldn't have seen it. You really, yeah, because I apologize too. I've been just swamped with work. If you sent me a text message, I would have gotten it and known to check my email. But I just the extra step of having to come to a different computer and open up a different mailbox.
It works on that day if you can connect at that time.
Yeah.
You know,
Not quite,
Well,
not quite that bad, but
I just want
Yeah.
to touch real quick on the one quick one-liner that Kristen had in there. You know, if there's something that is that we need to see and not at a leisurely pace, in the past, texts were sent to us letting us know, hey, check your email.
yeah.
Because like Kristen said, it's like I don't often have the opportunity to check it daily. And then again, if it's actually working is another issue.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Point well taken.
Yeah, so we would appreciate that, Danelle, if that's possible.
Yeah, and like I said, I did not send one to you, and that was my fault. I was trying to get this meeting done so that we could move forward.
The most important thing is to have the meeting, yeah.
It was not. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I mean, I know you're well represented, so I'm not, yeah, I don't think anything was missed because I wasn't there.
Yeah, and it was very, I mean, Mike can tell you, it was very short. Really, I wanted to make sure that we're still moving forward on it, because I know that Dave had not heard from them. So I wanted to make sure that they were still on board with doing that.
Okay.
And just to let you know, Kristen, asking for a proposal from Dewberry to get us an idea of, you know, what the estimated costs are going to be and, you know, what the rates are, what they think that they should look at. So they're in the process of doing that. And then the site visit, if you want to do the next site visit, Danelle will let you know when that's going to be. I don't know when that's going to be, but they are planning to do a site visit soon.
Okay, great.
All right. Any other questions about Pump Station 2, transfer station update? We'll move on to sewer service area map, the expansion map. Danelle, can you give us an update on that?
I asked Soren a couple of weeks ago to put, so you guys all saw that map with all the red all over it, which we're not, you know, we're going to ask that all of the red remain in our existing sewer service area. So I did ask Soren to remove all of the red out of the actual map so that I could have a PDF to send you guys. She sent it to me today at 5 o'clock. So I looked at it, but I don't care so much about the map. I really want the list of the blocks and lots so that I can finish my letter to the DEP. After I spoke with you guys at the last meeting that I was at, that we had met with the DEP from the Planning Advocacy Board Department, and he had recommended that we put this letter together and we explain why we want these blocks and lots included, or these lots included, but I need that list of blocks and lots. I don't have that. I mean, I would have to, my next step, if I don't get it in the next couple of days, is to sit there and go down block by, lot by lot and list them myself. But I don't think that should be necessary. This should be something easy. I still don't have it. So I need to get that listing so I can send our letter to the DEP. That's kind of where we stand right now. The letter
Are you talking about like an Excel spreadsheet, like of all the listings?
Not all of them. So it's only the blocks and lots that were in red in that map that I shared with you guys last time. I think I sent her an email. I can do it again.
Right.
But just the ones that, so I told her to take all those red. I want all of them out, but the ones that you're going to remove the red from, I need a list of those blocks and lots, because those are the ones that I need to list out for the DEP to tell them we are requesting that they remain in the sewers, in the existing sewer service area. Because those are the ones they want.
And she has not, and they have not provided that to you.
No.
When was the last time that correspondence was sent to her?
She just wrote back. She just sent it a map to me today at 5 o'clock. I emailed her. Oh my gosh. October. These emails are from October.
May I make a May I make a procedural suggestion, Danelle?
Sure.
Send her an email back that you expect those lot and block numbers by Monday morning by noon. And if not, there'll be a heavy dialogue, and I'll be part of that.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Give
you
them
know,
a
if you have to talk to,
give them a deadline. No, give them a deadline. Monday by noon. We would like the lots and blocks. If you cannot supply that, you better have sufficient reason why.
yeah, and I agree with Andy. This is ridiculous.
No, it's just, the thing is, if you don't give deadlines, people let things flow. I understand that. I do the same thing. You don't give me a deadline, I move on to the next thing until somebody hounds me. Just
You
as
know,
simple.
I hear you.
it seems to me that obviously we've had problems like this before. Who is her boss? And maybe it would be time to.
John Rushkey. John Rushkey, Danelle, if you want to speak to, if you're not getting through to Sarin, John Rushkey is Sarin's boss, and I actually have his cell number. I'll provide his cell number. I actually have his cell.
Okay.
Well, I think you give her an opportunity to respond by Monday at noon. If not, then you take the next step.
Then you talk to John. I will, if you have to remind me, Danelle, I'll get you John Rushkey's cell number.
Okay.
Because at this point, I agree with Andy that the best way is to give her a deadline on Monday. She goes by the deadline on Monday. Then you talk to John Rushkey, your boss, and then like, let's try to resolve this amiably and without any fanfare.
Mhm. That's the professional way to do it. So move forward with
Yep,
it.
I agree. All right. Anything else about this? So any questions about the expansion map? Now, obviously, once you get that, Danelle, you'll send that down to the DEP, and hopefully they have everything they need to make a decision.
Yeah, I think the only one that's going to be a problem with them, like we've talked about, is Legends.
Right. Which has their own sewer service area.
It has their own list of problems. Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole list about. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's follow through. Let's take that next step.
Yeah.
Good. We already gone over the safety items, finance, billing.
Good news in case somebody's missed out on the good news. One of our largest delinquent property, came in and paid $135,000 because we told them that they couldn't have any permits.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Does that make them current?
That makes them current through the third quarter. So, I mean, I don't know what the fourth quarter is going to be on December 1st. We'll see if they pay.
Were they handed their permits?
Okay.
Yeah, yes, they had to wait. We had to wait until they proved that it cleared their bank account because
Okay, don't hold your breath.
$35,000 is good.
I'm
That
just
was the
joking.
zoning. That was the zoning department?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was actually building and zoning because I don't think it was just zoning.
Yeah.
Are you? That was one. But the Acme, is there still building issues with the Acme
Yeah,
shopping center?
They haven't paid anything. And
Great.
Mike, I think you got his last email. He wasn't happy, but the fact of the matter is they haven't paid anything this year. He is basically asking that the board reduce his EDUs based on his water usage. That's not how EDUs are.
It's not happening.
Not how we do things.
Well,
And
that was one. Was there another property?
There are some properties in Black Creek that have not paid.
Right. And then obviously start having that in January, and then we can do something in January, right? Is that how it works?
So here's my concern, is that the governor has just recently, for water utilities, he's instituted this rule where you can't charge interest and you can't put them out for tax sale for water utilities. My concern is that, I don't know how long COVID's going to go on and all these lockdowns are going to go on for. I do have a concern that it could move to the sewer side. I really don't know. Where you're not allowed, you're not allowed to do shutoffs. You wouldn't be allowed to collect interest. You wouldn't be allowed, to send them for tax sale. I do have a concern with that. So that's something that we should probably talk about, whether or not we want to move to an accelerated tax sale for next year. The thing though is that the township does their tax sale usually in November, and that's, I just know it's a little harsh to do a tax sale accelerated at the start of the year after you just did one in November. But I do have that concern about the sewer bills, not being able to collect things for them.
The executive order was just for water, Danelle, or it wasn't for sewer?
No, it was not for sewer.
I didn't know that. Any concerns or comments on that? That this is a tough one, right?
Yes.
And I'm just letting everybody know this is not just an issue for Vernon. This is all throughout the country, and people, utilities are going to struggle, and they're going to struggle meeting their financial. It is an issue. It's quite an issue, and we'll see what happens. That's with any potential bailouts or financial packages, stimulus packages. That's something we're gonna have to I think we should just wait and see. That's my opinion.
Agree.
Anybody else on that? On the subcommittees, we're gonna move on to the subcommittees. I wanted to bring the subcommittees up because I wanted to, let me just go over who's on what subcommittee. And now that we have Jean on board, I want to ask Jean if she wants to help out with any subcommittees. I personally, I know on the transfer station, it's Kristen and Dave McDermott. Really, probably, most likely, we're going to have, I think the best thing to do is kind of put the transfer station and the pump station 2 subcommittee together all in one. I think that would make more sense. Let's do that, and have Kristen and Dave be on that subcommittee. If there's any objections, that would that in essence would take me off that subcommittee. So we'll put those together. Jean, if you look down the list of subcommittees, we have, we already talked about transfer station and pump station 2 subcommittee. We have a sewer service area map subcommittee. We have a bylaws and personnel subcommittee, which I want to talk about in a minute. The water supply subcommittee, and then a financing subcommittee. These are all made up of 2 members of the MUA. I wanted to ask Eugene if you were interested in any of in participating in any of these subcommittees.
I'm not interested in the bylaws. I'll just cut that one right off. You give that to anybody that wants that, then count me out.
I was thinking,
For your own good.
Mike, I was thinking, did you guys want to, I know we mentioned it a couple of times, and I'd sent some stuff to Kristen about doing a solid waste subcommittee, if we're interested in doing.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Gene, would you be interested in helping out with that? I don't know. I don't know if you were on the MUA when Kristen recommended this. I think that's worth looking into. I agree.
And as far as what was that when Kristen mentioned trash collection?
Yeah, I remember you weighed in
Solid
on
waste,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, Jean was in on that conversation.
Yeah, I was in on that. I have to, that's something that would actually probably be come up at a council thing. I have to be honest with you, it's not something that I'm in favor of for a lot of different reasons. But I'm not, like I said, it's something to consider. But again, it's just like, to me, it's one of those things when somebody says, let's pump all the septics in town. It's such a, Vernon being so large and having so many different communities, that it's a little bit of a difficult task to undertake. Unless, you're looking at coming up with some of the different little lake communities that, because they all have their own that they do. I'm not so sure, and somebody, fill in here if you like to, but some of the communities, since they're actually and I'll just say like for Barry Lakes, for instance, if they're taking care of their trash removal, why would the town get involved in that? And somebody, you know.
Hey, Kristen, not to cut you off, Gene. Is
Yeah.
that, like, when you're talking about solid waste, are you talking about, like, you know, bigger things, or like you know, like solid waste removal, like what's your?
Oh, I was just talking about residential collection. You know, we all hire a firm to come to our curb and pick up our cans, or we bring them down to SCUMA. So yeah, I was talking about residential collection, but I guess I would just,
Okay.
you don't have to be a fan of something to be on the subcommittee,
No,
right?
I realize that, but when I like somebody, what I'd like, because of a lot of the different communities, whether it's Highland Lakes or Barry Lakes or Lake Panorama, they all contract out for their trash removal, and it's included in their lake dues. So
I understand.
Panorama, so I'm just
Oh.
wondering, you know, where is it that, and where you live, you pay for it separately, as I do.
Mhm.
So, but if you're in one of these communities, it's included in your lake dues.
So the lake communities are already getting their cut, and
Well, I don't know what kind of cut, but if you have, you know, if I'm selling a house and I have to tell somebody they have to pay for trash collection, or I have to tell them that in their community, their, you know, $1,000 includes their trash pickup for the entire year, it certainly makes up for the cost of the lake dues themselves. So I guess what I'm saying is, why would the town get involved in the business of that lake community, that HOA?
well, I mean, actually, that's a really good point, and it's something that I hadn't thought of when I brought it up. So,
Yeah.
And
I think what we're trying to do here, Gene, is like this is just to research it and to look into it. It doesn't mean necessarily, you know, mean we're going to do it. We're just going to gather information in order to see if it's feasible. If you're interested in doing something like that and if there's somebody else on the MUA that also wants to look into it, we can make a subcommittee to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it's something, and I understand my feelings. One, I just know, like I said, some of the other intricacies of what goes on with some of the HOAs. So what I could do is reach out to them to find out what carriers that they all use. You know, which hauling companies,
Right.
whether it's Waste Management
Yeah.
or Blue Diamond or Ayers. Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't, you know, you start to get into something where, you know, you get into the whole, you know, where who's plowing their roads too. So not that it's, but it's just, like I said, they have their policies in effect. But I can certainly call and start there just to see what they do. And, but
No, that'd be helpful, Gene. If you want to look into that, we'll, you know, if you want to help with that subcommittee, that'd be great, and we'll just add that as another subcommittee.
Yeah, I'll just, like I said, I'll reach out to the community, see who they use just as a start. But there's also quite a few people in town, something to consider, that actually take the ride to Lafayette and bring their trash there. So if you implement townwide trash pickup, you know, now you're actually, you know, like I said, are you adding it to their taxes? Where's that coming up? Because it's a whole nother fee that you're dealing with. So
Well, the idea is to do it through the MUA. That's the hunt. That's the thing you'd like to look into. I think it's good to just look into it, research it, bring it back to another meeting, and we can discuss it.
yeah, I'll find, like I said, I'll make some calls. Like I said, some of the information I already have, but I'll make some calls just to see who does what.
All right, good. Thanks. I appreciate that.
All right.
So the one I want to expand on and I wanted to talk about is the personnel subcommittee. Now that we have multiple employees or multiple part-time employees, to have that subcommittee, and I've asked Dave and Andy to kind of look at it and give us some more definition on, you know, the roles and responsibilities of everybody and who's supposed to be doing what. And, you know, there's a lot of, we obviously have made a lot of changes in February. So we added people and it went from one person running the as an executive director to 5 part-time ones. So I want Andy and Dave to kind of look at that. I don't know if they have any comments about that, but that's something we still want to look at.
Well, a task list weekly should we should absolutely after we have our meetings, we should be able to come up with something and just talk with the people and make sure that the stuff gets done. You know, it's not overly complicated.
Right. No, I appreciate that, and you guys can work on that together. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, and obviously,
will.
like an example of that is we're getting these part-time operators up on board, and we're going to be at the end of the month discontinuing the DPW contract. That's something we want to make sure everything's in place and these guys understand what they're doing. So I appreciate that. All right. Next on the list, commissioners' comments. We're going to start with Gene, if you want to go first.
I have no comments.
Okay, Andy Pitzker.
Well, as we've spoken about, we did this tour with Steve and Howie and his team, along with Danelle. And I have to say, Howie, you've put together a good team. Danelle, I mean, this group seems to be very cohesive. They work together, good communications, and there wasn't anything they wouldn't do. So when we were talking about this HR piece, I already took positive steps there, having discussions with Danelle and Howie, is that I always want to know what's going on. If you have an issue, if you've got a concern, and said the same thing to the guys there, is that, do you have your safety shoes? Do you have the right equipment? I mean, it's important that we make sure that they're safe, but also that you guys are getting the tools. And with Colette as well, is I'm very concerned that this computer, and can't hear Colette. I would like to hear her voice on some of these meetings once in a while. So it would be good that it's been 7 or 8 months now since this whole thing started. I would like to get her on board so she's got the right tools there. So, and making sure everybody works together if there's any issues. So overall, though, I think Danelle, Howie, Colette, you guys are doing a great job of keeping the MUA moving in the right direction, collecting the monies. The other thing, Howie, that we noticed, and maybe we need to send a notification out to, especially, I guess Great Gorge area, about maybe another refresher that, folks, you can't dump wipes and diapers down the toilet. I think we need to put out another flyer. So this causes our people extra amount of work that we've done this in the past, as we put out flyers, is that you have to cease with putting baby wipes and diapers and rubber gloves down the toilets, because that's what's killing these grinders and muffin monsters. And the guys go there daily to sift out all that garbage. It's a regular task that happens multiple times a day, right, Howie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those things, unfortunately, that everyone knows they're not supposed to do. It's one of the biggest expenses, other than replacing equipment and stuff, but like expenses that that don't need to exist in the sewage treatment industry. And that's from people putting stuff down the drain that they're not supposed to, from grease to rags to diapers to all of that stuff. And the baby wipes that they say are flushable, which really aren't flushable. It's still something that has to get screened out. And we could put out all the flyers we want, and half of 1% of the people are gonna adhere to it or even care. So I mean, yeah, we should put something out, but unfortunately, I really don't see it doing much good.
Well, I'd be happy to go to any of those board meetings in there and ask them a question. The very simple question: how many of you like to flush your toilets and make sure it doesn't come back at you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and not only that, it's like they know that, as it stands right now, they bear a large part of the cost of this system, and by mistreating it, it's only going to cost them more money down the road.
Right.
If it was laid out to them that way, you'd probably get a little bit better response.
And
Paul,
that's a good point.
I have a suggestion. We do have on our bills, we do have an area to put a message to customers. Maybe when we send out our bills this next year, we explain on the bill, you know, please do not flush these things down the toilet or down your sink or blah, blah, blah. You know, these are costly repairs.
They have message boards, you know, right by the guard booths too.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll put it on their message board. I mean, if people have to drive out of there in the morning and look at it, you know, you want your sewer to back up?
Yeah,
But
I think
people
it's
just don't know. But
No, but
like I said,
I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
time
they
for
don't
us to
know.
take- Yeah, I think it's time for us to take some active moves with newsletters, flyers at the doors, and I think the labeling on the bill is a good one. And then notifying these people, there's a lot of cost involved in that.
but they really do have message
Yeah.
boards, Andy.
I know, I've seen them. You know how many of those people fly by that message board and can't read it? I'm one of them.
Well, then you shouldn't be driving.
Oh, yes, I will.
Bam.
Hey, oh, he did once again.
Touche, Gene.
Yeah, Gene. All right,
Well,
Gene.
you've told us you
Gene
can't hear.
1,
Now
Andy 0.
You said you couldn't hear before. Now you're saying you can't see. I mean,
No, I can hear it.
Gene 2, now Andy 0. Wow, we're like, this is going to be a shutout. Gene
Hey.
is pitching a shutout tonight.
I'm bulletproof.
Get out of
Go
the
ahead,
way
me,
there,
baby.
Andy. Go ahead.
We'll do the next meeting by smoke signals.
You gotta have a little fun too, guys. Thanks, Gene. I appreciate that humor.
anytime.
What did you say?
I said anytime, huh?
Anytime. All right. Anything else, Andy?
No, that's it.
I think you're done, right? You're baked. You're done. Kristen, anything from Kristen?
No comments this evening. Thank you.
Good. Dave McDermott.
Just that I was reading the email that you showed me that Sarin and the director of permits is where it's going back and forth. Now I know we already voted to clear the VFW and let them get going. If these guys call me again, can I tell them go ahead and start your dig and hook up?
Yeah. The way I understand it, they have the permits to proceed,
Okay.
and they just have a matter of complying with those permits.
All right.
And
Fair enough.
I mean, it was a lot of back and forth, and you know, only thing I could suggest is just, you know, follow up and make sure that they follow the, you know, what the guidance that they've been given, and they can proceed. That's my understanding.
Sure. I'll talk to Steve Wetzel tomorrow and see what the story is and what they're doing, and because I know they want to get going because they want to get it done before the weather gets too cold and the ground freezes.
Right. Right, and then you could follow up with Bob Westenberger. He's close to this. He understands water and sewer. He has licenses himself, so he has a good understanding what needs to be done. And if you haven't questioned, just call Bob Westenberger from the permitting department, and from the building department, and he'll help you out.
Yeah, I will say, Bob also said that they're in complete compliance. So everything that's going on right now, they're in compliance. He's not going to make them dig anything up. Things were already approved prior to him. So he did mention the last email that I have from Tuesday, that their engineer will provide everything else that Sarin may have asked to bring the project to close it out. So I think they are doing some things. I don't. I just think that something fell through the cracks, but I think that we're in a place where they can be approved, at least by the township. So,
All right, I'll get on it. I'll follow it up this weekend.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate the follow up.
Yeah, no sweat. I can follow up with those guys anytime.
Anything else, Dave?
No, nothing for me.
Paul Carney.
No, I'm good.
Good. I have no additional comments other than the only comment I can really say is I did speak to Mountain Creek and to the mayor. This is a very good group. This is a group that's working together and really turned everything around. So I think we just keep on doing what we're doing. And I did mention that to him, and he really, in his reply, he is appreciative of what we're doing, and I think we're doing a good job. All right, so Danelle, there's a need to go into executive session.
Yes, for the purpose of contracts.
So for the purpose of contract.
Yes.
So
Does everybody have the link before we decide to do that?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said that today, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're Howie. We don't need Howie anymore, right?
No, I
Howie,
mean,
you're done. You're done for the night, Howie. Thank you very much. We're gonna leave this open, and we'll make a motion to go to executive session.
Yeah, but I need to take roll call first before we go in.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Andrew Pitzker,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Mike Fury,
Yes.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Gene Murphy,
Yes.
and Kristen Wheaton.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I'm going to keep this meeting running, but you all need to leave this meeting.
Got it. See you on the slide.